Hey guys, this is National Master Kevin Yang back at it with another video. So, in the last video that I showed you against our friend Runinja, I asked you the question, what happens after queen takes e5, right? What are the consequences if there's anything on this diagonal to begin with? And the answer is, well, I was going to play the move knight to g4, queen takes g7, queen takes f2, king d1, knight e3, king c1, queen d1, box that king in. So that was my goal. And after queen to e2, well, bishop takes c3, b takes c3, queen takes rook. That was my plan. So, knight to h3 was played. That's an interesting way to develop. Knight to f3 is also okay. I'm not quite sure about knight to h3, given that, maybe there's a future here, but I don't know. It looks okay, but at the same time, if white ever castles, this bishop can take this knight on h3. So castles, knight to g5, good move. And here I play knight to g4. To be honest, I didn't really know what I was supposed to do here just yet. I sort of thought, okay, maybe I want to go for this pawn, but I also thought about, maybe I want to go for f2. So I had contradicting thoughts here. And so that really made my strategy sort of indecisive. I didn't know where to go, right? So knight to g4 happened, and then rook h3 happened. So after knight to g4, I really wasn't sure what to do. I wasn't sure whether I was supposed to play f5 and e4, whether I was supposed to play bishop to f5 and bring out this rook. I didn't know. But after rook to h3, I said, I'm going to bring out my bishop. I'm going to see where things are after I bring out my pieces. Rook f3, bring out my rook. Knight to e4, and I said, f5. Let's go for it. And here, there was a move that shocked me. Bishop to c4. So immediately I thought, that looks worrisome. Because I calculated f takes e4, d6, king h8, and then I said, well, what did I say? Knight f7 maybe? I forgot. Rook takes, rook takes. I'm not sure. There's queen takes d6 here, but I'm pretty sure it's something else in mind. Maybe something related to taking on e7? I'm not sure. But I did have something in mind. I thought it was dangerous, so I played the move e6. I said, you know what? I want to avoid all this discovery looking thing, this knight to f7 looking thing. So I just played e6. Queen takes e4, but now it allows rook takes f3. And all of a sudden, this is what matters. So after queen takes f3, rook to f8. I could have also played rook takes c4 because after queen to f7, all I have to do is back my king to the side. Queen takes here, there is queen takes f2, knight e3, and checkmate. So from that perspective, I should have taken that bishop on c4, but I played rook f8 instead, the second best. Queen to e2, rook takes, and slowly start to gobble. Queen to f2, knight to e3, and I box our friend Runinja in. So what can we learn from this game? Like, how did I win? Well, I mean, the opening was normal, I would say. I should have played bishop g7 here. h5 maybe was a bit too early for creating such weaknesses. And knight to e5 was doing the job, so here was all good. I developed knight g5, and to me, knight G4, maybe for me, it just wasn't the best. I kind of felt like there was probably something better. Maybe like queen to c5, keeping an eye on f2 still, keeping the potential of knight g4 open. Maybe I wanted to play bishop to g4, and after something like f3, then I just play bishop to f5. Who knows? But knight to g4 was played. Rook to h3. Now I wasn't sure if rook to h3 was the way to go, because there was rook to f3, but in a sense, I don't know. To me, it just felt a little crowded, but I liked the idea. I love the idea of rook to h3, rook to f3. Just feels a little crowded to me because f5 and e4 is possible. It felt like the right thing to do, but at the same time, this rook from h3 to f3, and you're bringing the knight to e4. It feels like once black plays f5 and just counteracts all of that, the rook on f3 is going to feel a little bit worthless. I don't know. Might have seen that later in the game, but after f5 and taking e4, we kind of saw the extent of this rook looking really, it looked guilty on f3 when it was not supposed to. I don't know, it's hard to explain these things, but what I would like to say is that, rook, bringing that rook from h3 to f3 is really good. However, in this position, it just felt maybe a little bit crowded, if you get what I mean. Too many barn animals in the same area. It felt a little bit together, it was a bit noisy and all the pieces gathered in the same area, and they were thrown away by this wave of this f5 pawn. So after d6, e6, I could have also played king to h8, but after e6, queen takes, rook takes f3, and I should have taken the white bishop here, but I played the second best move, started sweeping up the broom, and that was the game. So that was my weekly encounter with Runinja. It was hard, it was tough, but it's all about finding your curiosity, and it's all about taking that motivation, taking that curiosity, and having fun with it, experimenting with the kinds of strategies, experimenting with your ideas. Your ideas are what are going to make you a better player, and those strategies, the ways you outmaneuver people, the tactics you do every day, all of that will be put into that chess game. And as long as you like it, you keep playing it, you keep enjoying it, trust me, you're going to improve a lot. It just takes time. Don't complain if it takes a long time. Some people take a longer time, and that's okay. So, thank you, and I'll see you next time.